What is up, guys, gals, and non-binary pals? Today we are jumping straight back into Bendy and the Ink Machine. Now, if you watched the last episode, you'll already know. I literally just finished Chapter 5 with the ending of it, and the ending of it just being that the whole thing is a giant loop that goes round again. It starts with Henry coming into the studio, and ends with him. It either ends with him killing the Ink Demon using the end, the film reel, or with him talking to Joey, because Joey then starts the cycle again by repeating what the letter at the start of the game says. And then he kind of just, goes back in, which, I don't know, anyway, today we are jumping into, what was it called? The Archive, right? Yeah, the Archives. Chapter ? And I don't think this is going to be a fully fledged story chapter or story explanation. I think this is more going to be a walk down memory lane with how Bendy's been over the last God knows how many years. I think it's 6 years at this rate. Because this game, the console version, came out when Chapter 5 came out in 2018. So I'll call it 6 years from 2018, because I think Chapter 1 came out in 2015, maybe? And I know we're in 2025 now, so there's all the time between then and now. There's also been Dark Revival, which, again, if you guys want me to play, let me know. I will play that at some point, depending on, if you guys want it. But yeah, I've been a part of the Bendy fandom for a while, so I thought, I'll jump in, see if I can remember some of the stuff. Because the the chapter image that's there is the old Ink Machine. It's not the new one that gets lowered on top of the giant one in the ending of the last episode, so I don't know. We'll have to see. Welcome to the Archive. Bendy and the Ink Machine began when the developer, cartoonist known as the Meatley, experimented with bringing a 2D sketch style into a 3D world. After turning the idea into a horror game, Chapter 1 of the game was created in little under a week. Wow, that was quick. With programmer friend Mike Mood. And released on February 10th in 2017. Oh, so no, it was just done in 2017. Much to their surprise, it struck a chord with global indie gamers almost overnight. The Meatley and Mike Mood decided to drop all projects and work on Bendy to tell the most unique Ink story. The entire game was completed a chapter at a time in a year and a half, but I thought it took a lot longer. It felt like a lot longer. It might have been because of all the teasers and stuff they had in between. So, I don't know. We'll have to see with that one. Hang on, let me move you guys over a bit. There we go. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Chapter at a time in a year and a half by a small but dedicated group of indie developers. Although the concept and story remained as originally intended, the game changed over development as characters and models were refined from the early thrown-together versions. This archive is a peek behind the scenes at that process. Okay. Whoa. This is cool. So I'm going to give a quick sweep around so you can get a general thingy of it. Well, yeah, there's concept art on the walls, and then there's the different Bendies there, the different Borises there, and then, yeah, the original Ink Machine. See, I told you, this was the model that they used for Chapter 3's little goop thing. It was next to Sean Flynn's thing, or Jacksepticeye's character. Before a major visual upgrade, this version of the Ink Machine was the one used in the game. Much of this machine's iconic fan-loved design was translated into the final version. Yeah, because it was essentially just this, right? When we saw it in the ending one, it was essentially just a big this with a small one on top. I know the new one looks slightly different and was a lot bigger, but yeah, weird. Okay, so we'll take it from left all the way around to the right, because it looks like it goes from older to newer in this kind of thing. Henry Stein. Once an equal business partner of Joey Drew, Henry Stein was a talented animator and character designer until leaving the company around 1930. His place in Joey Drew Studios' history is somewhat undocumented. but he's often rumored to be the true creator behind many of the studio's most memorable characters. So we play as him, right? So we should probably stand here. We should be here. Oh, ow, that's loud. Standing proud, find out where you belong. Oh, that's cool. So for people who think that kind of thingy. Whoa, I just noticed the giant Joey Drew Studio logo up there. Yeah, so for the people who think Henry should actually be there because that's who we play as, right? They get an achievement for it. Sweet. Concept Bendy. Whoa, that's weird. He was a lot cuter, but, like, he opened up from, like, the front. Concept Bendy. This is the first version of Bendy ever modelled. In the earliest concept, Bendy was much smaller and cuter, with a face that split open to reveal a terrifying mouth. See, to have this chasing you around, I don't think would have been necessarily as creepy, because I assume his mouth would have been closed most of the time, but then when he saw you, would have come, like, chomping at you. So, maybe he would have been a bit creepier, but I don't know. Alpha Bendy. Oh, yeah, I remember this one. This is when he, like, Chapter 1, you literally saw him pop up from behind the boards in Chapter 1, when the ink machine gets boarded up, and he just, like, looked around and then dropped. Hang on. This is the original game-used design of Ink Bendy, from the earliest version of Chapter 1. It is jokingly referred to as bird poop with a smile among the development team. Of course. Beta Bendy. Ah, so this is more similar to the one we have, or is this just the one used from, like, Chapter 3 onwards? This was Ink Bendy's form until the release of Chapter 4. Ah, yeah, okay. At that time, the game received a major visual upgrade, and the title character, got a new model as well. So they just I assume they went from this one to this one, yeah. I mean, they're pretty similar, but you can tell definitely where they've added, you know, extra details. Like, his mouth is set back a bit, and the ink is a bit more, like, glossy, and it moves around him, which is weird. But this one still looks really cool. I'm assuming this is the one that was originally used in, like, Chapter 3, right? Weird. Oh, he only has, like, 2 toes as well, I think. Ink Bendy. Ink Bendy as we know him today. Although similar to Beta Bendy, this upgraded version was remodeled and enhanced with a higher polygon count and given new ink effects. Yeah, so that's like the falling ink. And he does look a lot like, I don't know. You can tell that there's more gone into it. And then Beast, but yeah, this is the one I just fought in Chapter 5. Oh, his legs are still tiny because he's still got them kind of legs. But then you saw his arms grow in the chapter, and then he like covers his head and comes back up. Ink Bendy's horrific final form in Chapter 5 pulled away the cartoon facade and revealed the demon within. Weird. Sammy Lawrence. Oh, was that the hand in Chapter 5 as well? What else have we got? Oh, beta searchers. Oh, is it gonna go through all the characters? Cool. Early in development, with just a few weeks to create Chapter 2, the beta searchers were designed in record time before being fully retooled later on. They were the first fighting enemies encountered in the game. Yeah, because you'd go down to Chapter 2, you'd turn on the power, and these guys would show up, and these look really cool because they have the really, like, droopy faces, and the eye sockets and stuff. They only had 3 fingers as well. Yeah, and then there was these guys that look a lot more human. Final Searcher. The Final Searchers were far more robust in appearance. They were smoother with better ink effects and more human appearance. Yeah. So these actually look like people. Or kind of. Because they have 5 fingers, but then you can actually kind of see the facial structure. Beta Sammy. Oh yeah, when he was chunky and the overalls were really, really big on him. With his first appearance in Chapter 2, fan favourite Sammy Lawrence became a terrifyingly entertaining character. When his slim build was deemed not threatening enough, he was redesigned and given a better skeleton rig for more advanced animation. Yeah, so he was like literally just a blob at this point. Well, you can tell it's a person, right? Like, you can tell because of thingy, but look, the suspenders aren't attached or anything, and they look way too big for him, so yeah. And he had, like, stubs for feet. He didn't even have actual feet. And then, yeah, final Sammy. Sammy Lawrence's final form came complete with bulked-up stature and more powerful limbs. The mad songwriter may finally get noticed now, at least by fans. Yeah, he actually had, like, muscle definition, and, like, this was sick. I remember, like, seeing this version of him for the first time. It was mad, because there was a whole thing about Joking giving him feet and making him a bit... Because he was kind of slim here, but he wasn't, like, muscly either, whereas this one, he's kind of slim, but he's very, like, top-heavy muscly. Which, you know, is fine. Why is this one in glass? Oh, it's watching me. That's weird. Weird. So this one's alive. It's a lost one, right? Yeah, the angels. Alice and Allison. She tried to look sweet. Because I remember there was a trailer and it was like this side and you don't see the demon side of her at all. And then it swaps over here and she's completely different. Weird. Okay. Yeah, and then Allison. With her, like, katana and stuff. Or is that more a machete, I suppose? And then Tom Boris? Huh. Weird. Oh, the giant ink machine with the ink machine on top. Damn, okay. And then Beta Boris. Yeah, well, you could actually see all his this was the one that was used when the game first came out, right? He was bigger, he was bulkier, and you only ever saw him with the version in Chapter 1 where he was, like, cut open and thingy. He had the wrench in his chest. And it was weird because you could see all his insides and stuff. It was weird. Papa was the original name for this character that eventually became Boris the Wolf. The early version was released in Chapter 1. He was quickly refined into the Boris we know today with the release of Chapter 2. So he was originally named Papa, not Boris. And then, yeah, Boris the Wolf. Boris the Wolf, A Friend to the End, was designed using various references from the cartoons of the 1920s. A blend of the West Coast and East Coast animation styles, this silent, supportive wolf won over the hearts of many. Although at times, he was a headache for the development team due to his AI taking on a mind of its own during production. So his AI just go randomly different places? Cool. You looking at something, Boris? Nah, nothing up there. That's really cool, though. And then, yeah, the boss fight Boris from Chapter 4, right? Where he's massive. You could see his heart in the middle. Weird. Brute Boris. Alice Angel's monstrous Brute Boris was one of the biggest surprises of Chapter 4. His design was roughly based on the Frankenstein monster, but a more unfinished appearance. Alice took parts from within him and substituted things that his body is rapidly rejecting. Ah, so she gave him new parts, but his body was just like, nah, sack that. Weird, okay. And then we looked at the main ink machine, right? So, the Butcher Gang. The Piper, Striker, and Fisher make up the dreaded Butcher Gang. Interestingly, the ink-corrupted versions of the characters were designed first, and they were reverse-engineered back into their more family-friendly cartoon form. Ah, so these ones were done first. They are, like, pretty creepy, right? Especially with the mouth on this one's head. And this one's head completely detached to bar the one swinging thing. Ugh, Bertram's head as well. From in the Chapter 4 fight. Weird. Is that it? Oh, Bendy and the ink machine on the roof. I hadn't noticed. She's quite a gal over there as well. Weird. Okay. on the pause menu it says enter the machine, but I don't know what that means. I've been having a look at the ink machine for a couple of minutes now, and it's just not really doing much. So let me see if I can Google anything and see if it's anything. If not, then, you know, we'll go, oh, danger, keep out. Alright guys, I've done a bit of digging. There isn't much. I had a quick look online, and by the looks of it, the current objective for the archive chapter is just whatever objective you had for the last chapter. So, for the example they used on the forum, it was something like, if you're opening the secret passage in chapter 4, that'll be the objective here. If you're going into the machine at the end of chapter 5, that's why it says enter the machine. But given we've looked at everything, I'm going to give y'all a slow just meander through. You can see all the artwork and the models and stuff. Because this is genuinely really cool. Like I said, I remember when Bendy first came out. I remember watching Super Horror Bro and Jacksepticeye play the first couple chapters, and then when Chapter 5 came out, I got the game myself on console not long after, like for Christmas or my birthday or something, and I was still pretty scared of the game at the time. I think I was only like, what, maybe 11? So it would have been pretty thingy at the time. But yeah, like, honestly, it's weird growing up with this game and seeing Dark Revival come out, because we're still getting teasers of new games like Bendy 3 or Back to the Puddles, I think it's called, or something like that, or The Chronicles or something. But yeah, this is really cool. I think I'm gonna end this episode here, looking up to the next Bendy chapter. Or if y'all want me to play Bendy in the Dark Revival or anything like that, let me know. Honestly, it feels good to look back at where it all started. I think I'm going to end the episode here because we've had a quick look at everything. I don't think there's anything else. If y'all want me to do a video on some of the hidden messages I find with the Seeing Eye tool thing that we got in the last chapter, on just a few that I can find while running through the game again, then, you know, let me know down below. I'll see if I can find any hidden messages or weird drawings or anything like that. Because Alice said they were all over, but, like, you know, I only seen them in chapter 5 for the time being. I'll probably go back myself and have a look at them, and if y'all want to see some, then I'll record it. But, you know, it depends on what we find. Anyway, I'm going to end this episode here because, like I said, we've looked at everything and it's good to look back at it. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you've enjoyed this series as a whole, the Bendy series. And honestly, recommend down below if you want, you know, Bendy the Dark Revival or any other games, really. I think the story games are doing pretty well on the channel at the minute, so we'll have to see if we can find anything else. Any other, you know, indie horror games or anything like that, let me know down below, and I'll see if I can get them going. I want to thank you all for watching. I want to thank you all for watching the entire series, if you have, you know, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye!